We've all been at that point in our Pokemon adventure where we come across the trainer who always tries to beat us. Or when we finally get to face the champion after a grueling Elite Four battling session. These battles are some of the most difficult in these games. But today we are not discussing the battle's difficulty, but rather the themes that encompass these battles. Today I'll be counting down my top 10 rivals and champions themes. I'll be exposing you to all of these themes today when I talk about each trainer and why I enjoyed their piece. I am going to be showing you clips of actual videos on YouTube, so this is not entirely my video because it's going to have parts of their videos in it, but it does pass copyright rules because I am critiquing these pieces, so don't shoot me in the comments or send copyright claims my way because it's covered and I'll fight you for it. I just want to clarify some points before we get into this video. In the case of Blue and How, who are also rivals and champions at different points in the game, we will be using their champion theme since it is more characterized for them. I also will be using the most recent game audio that we have for each character. So if Blue is on this list, his theme will be from the Fire Red and Leaf Green version rather than Black and White 2, Black and White, or even the Ultra Sun Battle Tree music that you fight Blue with. Now with all that being said, let's get into the list. We're starting out with number 10. How? From Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. This music is really intense and fast-paced, making it excellent for a final battle. This theme outclasses the themes not on this list by a great value. But I feel like the piece leaves something to be desired. Originality. The theme relies heavily on a combination of Kukli's theme from the Sun and Moon champion battle and rivals music that How has throughout the journey of Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon. This is a great way to tie How's role as a champion together and as your rival, but I feel like the piece could be exponentially better by focusing on the parts of this piece that are unique to themselves. Number 9, Gladion from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. This theme really pushes the edginess of Gladion early on, but backs off a little after the intro, as you will see. The cuts in this music can be good for effect, but rather they just take away from the intensity of the battle. The guitar line should run this piece, in my opinion. The 90s vibe it gives off is perfect fit for Gladion, as it brings out the grunge style that is very popular at that time. This piece just needs just a few tweaks, and it could be absolutely phenomenal. Number 8, Hue, from Black 2 and White 2. Hue makes this list with a more simplistic piece. The theme is carried by a driving and rich undertone, easily making the melody a lot better. This piece is one of the best crafted in the franchise, but as a rival piece of music, it lacks the intensity needed to be memorable. I only recognize this piece because I often hear it when playing Pokemon Showdown. I rank this music higher than the last two due to the significance of intense battles for the draft league I've been participating in, and since this is my list, I can do what I want. Number 7, Diantha from X and Y. This theme kicks off with a brilliant introduction, but as it lightens up, it loses some of its drive. The piece makes brilliant use of the higher tones to complement the character of kindness Diantha possesses. I personally like the more driving sections of the piece where the drums are heavily relied on. The drums maintain intensity, while the other instruments pick up the personality of Diantha. This is a very solid piece, but it lacks a constant motivation to make the battle feel really important. Also, this battle is just way too easy. The theme barely gets heard because you just beat the battle before you even hear it, really. But it's still good regardless of that fact. Number 6, Silver, from Heart Gold and Soul Silver. This theme exemplifies the cockiness of Silver extremely well. A fast-paced concoction of nice harmonic and minor sections really make this theme intense and act as a nice association with Silver. I really feel like pummeling this kid when I hear this theme, which works extremely well with the game. The piece really matches Silver's attitude of strength and power. Being older in time, this theme suffers from the difference of aging, but with a newer vibe given to this piece, it easily could make number 1 on this list. Now it's time for number 5. N from Black and White. This theme has a nice focus on the driving bass line, making the music upbeat and fast. But when the higher pitches take over, the piece really suffers. The piece lacks a development on the lead and pretty much everything else but the bass. The bass alone gets this piece this high on the list, into the top 5. But with more use of the higher instruments in a complementary manner to the bass line, this piece easily could rise to the top position on this list. Number 4, Wally from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. No one expected this when battling Wally in Victory Road for the first time of playing through Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire. This theme easily rose to popularity in the Pokemon community, and you heard it everywhere. Many people see this theme as overplayed, which it is, but that doesn't take away from just how good it is. The piece has everything you need to have an intense musical feel. A strong electric guitar, a kickin' bass line, and the right combination of that hi-hat and bass drum. But it lacks a very crucial thing: tempo. Increasing the speed by half, just half, makes this piece great, but it diminishes the richness of the other tones in the piece. So if you sped it up just by half and still have the richness of all these tones, this theme would not be just falling short of the number 3 slot on this list. Speaking of number 3, number 3. Number 3 on this list is Blue from Fire Red and Leaf Green. This piece screams anticipation, and that's why I didn't talk during the opening. This piece is very limited though, being created in the mid-2000s. This theme has not really aged well. It's still very good and also has the bane of my existence. I struggled immensely with the blue fight when I first played through Fire Red and Leaf Green, making this piece of music very memorable. Not in the good way. Despite not having driving beats, this piece gets me going on a rampage to achieve victory. With a modern flair, this piece easily could be the best in this list, but its age slows it down and holds it back. And looking back on this piece, I really do enjoy how well crafted it is for how early on it was created. Now on to number 2. Number 2 is Lance from Heart Gold and Soul Silver. This theme plays nicely off the anticipation factor from its predecessor, making a lively atmosphere when the battle begins. The theme makes you hungry for victory, a great idea for a final champion battle. The theme can get a bit repetitious, but it is great regardless of that factor. I actually enjoy Nate Wants to Battles version slightly better, but I am a huge fan of the electric guitars taking the lead in that piece. You may have heard that throughout my live streams. Number 1 goes to Cynthia from Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. This is probably the hardest champion, and it also gets the best spot of music on this list. The theme is amazing. It maximizes anticipation, and the intensity makes your heart race. This battle holds the best features of what we have talked about in this list. A driving bass line, good mixture of hi-hat and bass drum, and being fast-paced, while adding a level of fear, determination, and great power. It is one of those few musical pieces that sticks with you from the games. I always had to do this battle with the music on because it gave me a desire to win. even when Garchomp was constantly beating me down. And as a kid, I didn't play with the music on very often when playing Pokemon, or any game that wasn't on one of my home consoles, so this piece really does stand out for me just because I had to play it with music. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content from me. Go check out my sponsor Cinch Gaming for some awesome gaming gear, and if you do decide to buy something, use code CHAOSMAY to get 5% off your purchase. There is a link in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I'm CHAOSMAY006, signing off. Burn it up.